Hey guys, Chris Fayte with Cheat the Game coming back at you, and we're finally to the time where we're going to create the trainer from this series. I know that there's a bunch more that we could go in there and hack, and I probably will, to be honest with you, but I'm not really going to put it in the series. I think I got my point across, and I think people that wanted to see this series got what they needed out of it. So we're going to go ahead and make the trainer, and basically I'm just following the same format that I've done in my previous videos. I know some of you have been wanting to see Lua involved in this. However, we hadn't kind of got to that stage on my channel yet. Plus, you know, I'm still new to Lua myself, and but I promise later on in the future we'll be making more trainers, and we'll be using Lua functions to do that, like write your own values, things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. There's some certain things I need to go over that we need to do, and we're going to start learning Lua here shortly when I continue on with the game hacking tuts. But the first thing we need to do is we need to go in there, take out test in every single one of these, and what we also need to do is we need to assign each one of these a hotkey. These have to be done, especially the hotkey has to be done before you begin setting up your trainer. Okay, you have to assign hotkeys. You do not assign hotkeys, they will not be able to access the cheat. Okay, that's very important. So every one of these, you just need to right click on it and then just create a hotkey like normal. For infinite health, we're going to put it 0, and we just want it to toggle the script on. And I have my own activation and deactivated sounds that I made, so I'm going to be downloading my own. I'll show you how to do that in just a second here. But whoops, sorry about that. But like I say, I'll show you how to do that, because we're going to do that in the trainer itself. So just go ahead and go through each one of these and assign a hotkey. Put them in the order you want them to be in, and assign a hotkey however you want to. That has to be done first. Now, I'm not going to show this entire method because everybody should be familiar on how to create hotkeys. You also want to put them up here in the description, and I'll show you that too. So go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I went through every single one of these and assigned a hotkey using the number pad all the way up to 9, and I used the F keys for the rest. Also, another thing I need to iterate is make sure that when you set your hotkeys, make sure that you also, let's go to edit, put the description. I know it says optional, but put that, because that's how it's going to show up on your trainer. Okay, so make sure to put that on there, click apply, and you're good to go. Okay, also for graphics, things of that nature, that's left to your imagination. I personally use Photoshop, that's what I like using. And also how I make my icons. Now, your icon is what will appear on whatever the desktop or wherever they store their trainers. And basically what you want to do is just make a picture and send it through here, and this is the website I go to, image.online-convert.com. I'll leave the link in the description for you, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment here. But make sure that you go through and check, make sure each one of these has a hotkey. And what we want to do is go over here to File, Save Our Work, go to File again, and Generate Generic Trainer Lua Script from Table. And this will bring up our trainer information here. And you see everything that we assigned a hotkey to appears over here, and what hotkey as well. So make sure that the game is up, and we do want to make sure it's attached to that process. And we want to name it Dishonored 2, and I always put the version so they know specifically what version it's for. And here, this is in the about. When they click the about button, this is for the credits of the trainer. You can just put your name or your company or both. I'm putting Chris Fayte at Cheat the Game, and that's how it's going to look when they mash that little button here. Here we're also going to set our icon. I'm not going to set a side image because I'm going to use a custom side image. You can see the template over here of how your trainer is going to look. I forgot that these popped up here too. I might just go back and take those back out. I don't know yet. We can do that in the trainer itself. But we want to allot for how many cheats we got. So, you know, you want to size it up you want to move things around. We're going to do all that in just a moment here. Also, I want to play sound on activate and deactivate. Like I say, I made my own custom sound. I'm going to add that to here, so I'm going to navigate to that folder, which is desktop, a CTG folder. I use Cepistrel to do that, and here's my trainer voices. That's for activated. And I'm going to use this. It has to be in a WAV format, .wav, and I need to add another sound, the deactivated one. And we're just going to navigate to there, and these are my two sounds that I use for activate and deactivate. And this is what it sounds like when they turn on your cheat. It'll go
cheat activated,
and when they turn off the cheat,
cheat terminated.
That's what I use. Okay. So let me go ahead and save what I got so far, and I'm going to straighten this up a little bit, and then we're going to get into the design interface manually. And I also need to go into Photoshop and make my pictures and everything, so that'll take me just a few moments, but no time will go by for you. I'll be right back. Well, I just thought about it. Before I go make the picture that needs to go here, we need to go ahead and set these the way we want them in there, and then we need to take a screenshot of it. That's what I use as my guide in Photoshop. So what I need to do is I need to go ahead and design interface or user interface manually, and this brings up our tools that we can use to make this a little better instead of just using the generic. And like I say, if you want to know some of these functions, you can go back through previous tutorials. I'll leave the links up in the upper right hand corner for both the parts where I made the trainers and went over these parts. I just need to set the trainer up how I want it to look. And the first thing I do is get rid of these side panels, but I need to move this about button too. So I need to find the about button, which is right here, and I just want to move it up and separated it out of the extra panel option. So I want to put it with my cheats right here. So each one of these has a label, and that's what's in that label. So that's what I normally get rid of. You can leave those sides in, it doesn't matter. You can make your trainer however you want to make it. Okay, so I put these, I just shortened these up a little bit, and what I want to do is I want to go through, could have just done that over here, and I should have done it over there, but that's okay. Is we can go change the color of the backgrounds of these. And remember, each of these are labels on top of each other, so all these are different layers. Okay, so this is what's on top right now, and the back is its own specific layer as well. So keep that in mind while you're doing these stuff. So what I want to do right now is I want to set each one of these. Let me go back to properties. Hang on a second. I think I just screwed up. Hang on. Let me just do it over here. That's where I'm used to doing it. There we go. Just like that. That way we got our text color. You can choose any color you want, or you can leave it at default. And normally I like to use like a green or cheat the game, something like that. Click OK. It'll turn those green. And then we got the background on here somewhere. There it is, I think. And I choose a black background for that. And this is what it's going to look like before the cheats are pressed. Now when the cheats are activated, it's going to turn it whatever this color is. You see that? Activation. It's going to turn it that color. So when it's activated, they're going to turn red, show that they're on. When they're not deactivated, they're going to be this color. You can change the fonts, you can do all that stuff. I'm not doing that here. I'm just making a base trainer for it right now. But what I want to do is I want to take a screenshot of this, and I do that with my keyboard, and then I go over here to paint just for a second. Just Control V. And I just want my trainer if possible. Guess I should have made it a little bit bigger by side. I just want that right there. And crop it to that size. And I'm just going to save it as a JPEG. And that's what I'm going to bring up into my Photoshop. Okay, so far we're good to go. Now, like I say, you want to space these out however you see fit. You do that over here. This is pretty much self-explanatory on how to do that. Edit the width, length, and all that stuff. If you have them all highlighted, it's going to make the changes to every single one of these. So edit width and length and all that stuff separately, how far you want them from each other and whatnot, and you're good to go. Now, I'm not a Photoshop pro by any stretch of the means, so I got the cutout here in Photoshop, and I'm took down the dimensions, and I'm going to open up a separate page in the dimensions. Let me go ahead and do that. This is going to be our edit page right here. This is what our background is going to look like. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this as a template guide, more or less. That'll kind of help me adjust how I want the back to look on there. I'm just going to set that up in here, and what I do is I just turn the opacity down a lot. That way everything I set in here is how it's going to look on the trainer itself, and we can readjust the sizes on the trainer itself if we need to. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up a few things. First thing I want to get is get some of my stuff, like your banner. That's really big, so hang on. Kind of something like that, be fun. And let's grab the Dishonored 2. Like I say, normally I spend more time on these backgrounds and everything, but you know, just trying to keep the video short, I'm not doing that. Now, be careful using trademark artwork and things of that nature. I'm only doing it because I'm not selling these things. But you want to be careful doing that. You want to make sure you use things that are free to use. That way you're good to go. Put that on top. Okay, when you create a background, something that you like, just save it as a JPEG onto your desktop. And what you want to do is you want to come over here to your Form Designer tools, and right here you want to click on Image and just paste a square, just like so. Then what you're going to do is come over here, you'll see TCE Image, and that'll be on your trainer itself. And what you do is you come down here and you'll see the name, you'll see, let me take a look here because I'm not sure myself. Right here, picture. Just click on that, and then what you want to do is just load it up. I named my background so I could find it quick. And just click on OK. And just size it to your trainer specs like this. And as you see, it's in behind each one of your cheats, because your cheats are a different layer, and you can just adjust it as you see fit to make your image look a little better. Like I say, normally I take a lot more time than what you're seeing right now. I'm just trying to quickly go through this. So and just adjust it as you see fit. There you go. and you have your background. Let's take just another second here. Like I say, this is something that should be fun for you. Take your time with it, enjoy yourself with it, and you can re-image this. You can play around with these things up here. Like I said, I'm not going to do that. There's plenty of tutorials out there that teach you how to do all this mess, and feel free to go watch them. They're not hard to find at all. Normally I try to make things look a lot better than this, and I'm sorry about that, but I don't want this vid to be too long, so just make sure. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'm going to do with it for right now. What I want to do is I want to go make the icon, and what I'm doing is I'm just going to use that image to do that. It's over here on my desktop. Like I say, you can go to Google and just find an image. If you're not selling your trainers, then you can usually use these. It's no problem. But if you're selling your trainers, do not use trademark images. I can't stress that enough. You can be sued. But if you're not selling them, no monetary gain or anything of that nature, it's usually okay. But it would still be best to contact whoever to get permission or whatever, depending on what you want to do. Or you can just put the name. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and convert our image to an icon. I'm going to choose a file off my system here, and let me see if I can find it. I think that's it right there. Okay, we just want just a standard icon. It'll convert it to an icon image. Doesn't take too long. You just save that to wherever you want. There's my icon, and it's over in my download files. Let me go to it, downloads, show folder, and I'm just going to move that over to my desktop. Let's paste it. Alright, so we're good to go on that, and what we can do is we just go back to our generic right here, set icon. You can also do it after but right before you generate your trainer. Just look for the icon image, which this right here, and that's what your thumbnail is going to look like, your icon thumbnail. So that's what we want to use. Let me try that one more time. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so once you got everything the way you want it, also while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put a link down in the description for Stephen Chapman's channel. He went through step by step on how to make one of these trainers as well, plus using Photoshop to do so and things. It's really great, and a lot better than this one right here. So I'm going to put that link, so please go watch it. That'll really help you out as well. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and start generating our trainer, and we need to save it somewhere. I do not recommend saving it on desktop. What I would recommend doing is go into your C drive, create a new folder, and just label it trainers and save it there. That'll save, for some reason that seems to save some errors that seem to pop up when saving it to desktop. Make sure that you name it to trainer. We're going to go ahead and save that there. And here is the important things. Any plugins that you use, like Stealth Edit or anything of that nature, you need to add those into here, or they will not be active with your cheat. If you had to use Stealth Edit or anything, what you do is you want to add files. You want to navigate over to your cheat engine folder where your plugins are, and you'll want to add that plugin to these extra files right here. Okay, make sure also that this is set correctly. The process, is it a 64-bit or 32-bit game? Okay, if you do not know what game type it is, there's several ways you can go about it. Now, Dishonored 2 is a 64-bit game, so we're going to set it as a 64-bit game. If you do not know if it's 32-bit or 64-bit, one way that I do it, and there's all kind of ways to do it, and somebody can probably give a better suggestion down there, is I go to the properties. Let me redo that one more time here. Compatibility. And when you look up the compatibility, it will not give you options below Vista. You see, that means it's 64-bit. If it does give you options like Windows XP and all that other mess, then it's 32-bit. Simple way to know is go to compatibility, properties, compatibility. If it only gives you options from Vista on up to Windows 8, it's 64-bit. If you get all the options with Windows XP and all that other mess, it's 32-bit. And there are other ways to know that too, and feel free to leave a suggestion in that. Go right ahead. But now that we got that, this is what our icon's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like on their desktop or wherever they happen to put it, and we're going to go ahead and generate. Trainer was generated successfully. We're going to go ahead and close out that screen. Leave this out of the way. What I want to do is save this, and anytime you save this with your cheat table, anytime you want to bring it back up, is you just come back over here to table, and there's your trainer, restore and show, and you can continue to do whatever, or edit it, or delete it and start over. And you'll find you'll be using that delete button a lot. But that's how you do it. We can go ahead and turn cheat engine off. What I like to do is go ahead and turn the game off as well. Making sure that was running. I didn't remember if I mashed record or not. And let's go over to where we saved our trainer at. In our newly created trainers folder, here's our trainer. We want to bring that up. Actually, you don't want to bring that up first because it needs to attach itself to the game. Bring the game up. Oh, something I want to stick in here. I'm sticking this in the middle right before I close off this, so this is actually recorded after I record the next section, so bear with me on that. Sorry about that, but this is going to come up, so I'm going to go ahead and answer the question right here and right now. When you bring your cheat table back up, attach it to the process, load up your table, and you know your cheat table is already up here in table, and you need to make changes to it and whatever. Well, when you bring it back up, you got your edit screen, you got your form designer back up and everything, but you don't have that other little generation, I guess you would say, pop up with it. I'm going to show you how to make your changes and everything. I had to go back and redo these right here because they were cutting off the words kind of like that, so I had to go back and just extend these out a little bit, just so that the words aren't cut off or anything. So you need to regenerate your trainer. Well, so a lot of people are going to ask how you do that. Well, what you do is you go up to here to File, Save As, navigate to your trainer folder, Trainers, and what you want to do is down here, Save Type As. You want to do it as Cheat Engine Trainer Standalone, just like that, and then rename it what your trainer is. Click Save. It brings up the generate trainer form. Make sure that you got everything correct, 64-bit, 32-bit, add the files you need to, and then just redo it. And that's how you bring that back up. So I'm sure that question is going to come up because I had that question in the past myself. I didn't realize that's what I was supposed to do, and I would actually go back and redo the entire trainers, which was stupid. But that's how you do it without having to do that, so keep that in mind. So I'll send you back to myself and we'll close this on out. Make sure that you when you create a readme file to tell people how to activate your cheats and when to use your cheats and all that mess, make sure that you also leave in there that they need to bring the game up first. The game needs to be already up so it can attach itself. It's better that way. Let's go ahead and bring that up. And here's our trainer. And it should auto attach itself. When we choose our about, we can see this was made by Chris Fayte, cheat the game. If we close it, we mash the close button. We don't want to do that. We just want to go test out our trainer before we go compress it into a zip file. So we're just going to continue from somewhere. No cheats are on right now. Okay. Now that our game's loaded up, we can possibly go in there and take a look. We've already got all the infinite money because that's when we were hacking it and everything, so not a good idea to really test it here. Let's go back outside. I figure some dipshit be standing in my way. Alright. I got my infinite health on. And let's see, what else do I got? Instant choke, number 9. And let's go try out our fly hack. Mash 7 for fly.
Cheat activated.
Boom. And we got a working trainer. So that's pretty much it. And as you can see, I got some things that kind of got cut off here that I'll need to go in there and edit and then just regenerate the trainer. But you know, basically that's how to do it, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put this trainer in a zip file, and I'll put that link in the description where you can download it. Give me a little bit to make some corrections on here to straighten this up just a little bit, and I'll make that available for you. You're welcome to use it. It's available for only works for version 1.77.5. okay, but I really appreciate you guys coming out and hanging with me this series. Maybe we'll do it again sometime. If I get requests to do this series again, we'll do it on another game. We'll just go through and hack the game and make another trainer, and hopefully we can add more stuff to it with the trainer, with the Lua script and all that stuff. So we'll get into that later, but come join us over at the Cheat the Game Facebook page. We have a lot of game hackers that hang out there, and if we're able to answer your question, we'll certainly do so. We're also still in the works of coming out with the Cheat the Game website. That'll be at cheatthegame.net. It's not up and running yet, but it will be, and I'll keep you up to date on that also. I want to thank all my admins. I want to thank all the members over at the Cheat the Game channel. You guys are awesome. You're great at helping people. I want you to know I really appreciate you guys very much. I appreciate you all sticking with me through this series, and I hope you got something out of it, and hopefully we can do this again real soon. So keep in touch with my channel. I'm also going to be moving some stuff over to Daily Motion. I'll put that link up for you as well. All this information will be down there in the description. Well, you guys take care. You keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating. You all take care now.